Here's the shocking truth. Renting costs about $1,422 a month while buying costs $2,057, making renting 31% cheaper up front. But here's what most retirees don't realize. Buying typically becomes cheaper after just 5 to 7 years. In this video, we're breaking down the real numbers so you can make the right choice for your retirement. Let's talk about the sticker shock first. You see a $1,422 rent payment versus a $2,057 mortgage payment, and think renting is obviously cheaper. But here's the trap most people fall into. That mortgage number is just the beginning. When you buy, you're not just paying the mortgage. According to Bankrate, the average mortgage payment in the United States costs nearly 38% more per month than the average rent when you factor in everything. You've got property taxes. The average homeowner pays around $3,500 annually, which is about $291 every single month. Then there's homeowners insurance, HOA fees, maintenance reserves, and utilities. All of that adds up fast. The median monthly mortgage payment of $2,057 assumes a 20% down payment on a $414,900 home with a 30-year fixed mortgage at 6.37%. But the real total cost of homeownership? That's closer to $2,648 monthly when you include taxes, insurance, and maintenance. That's a huge difference from what you might initially think you're paying. Timing matters when you're deciding to buy in retirement. As of April 2026, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is around 6.37%. That's down from earlier peaks, but remember, before 2022, many homeowners locked in rates under 3%. If you're thinking about buying soon, here's some potentially good news. Morgan Stanley strategists expect mortgage rates to decline to around 5.75% in the first half of 2026. That could save you thousands over the life of your loan if you can wait a few months. On the home price front, the national median price for single-family existing homes was $414,900 in Q4 2025, up just 1.2% from the previous year. Looking ahead to 2026, Morgan Stanley projects home prices to rise only 2%, while the National Association of Realtors projects a 4% median price gain. The point is this: the housing market is moderating. Home prices aren't crashing, but they're not skyrocketing either. That stability actually works in your favor if you're planning to buy. Here's the most important question. How long do you have to stay in a home before buying actually saves you money? With 2026 rates and prices, the break-even point is typically 5 to 7 years. Let me show you the math. Say you're buying a $404,009 home with 20% down and a 30-year mortgage at 6.37%. Your mortgage payment is $2,057, plus property taxes at about $291, insurance at $150, and maintenance reserves at $150. That's $2,648 monthly, or about $158,880 over 5 years. Meanwhile, if you rent that same square footage for $422 a month, you're paying $85,320 over 5 years. On the surface, renting looks cheaper, but here's the thing. When you buy, you're building equity in that home. The mortgage path includes equity gains and eventual ownership. The rental path leaves you with nothing at the end of 5 years. So if you're planning to stay in your home for at least 5 to 7 years, buying starts to make financial sense. If you think you might leave in 3 years, renting is almost certainly your better bet. Here's a warning that not enough retirees hear. Be very careful about taking on a mortgage in your late 60s or 70s. The data is alarming. Between 1989 and 2022, the percentage of homeowners aged 65 to 79 still paying a mortgage jumped from 24% to 41%, and median mortgage debt for that age group spiked more than 400%. Why is this a problem? Because a 30-year mortgage means you're paying it into your 90s if you buy in your 60s. The core issue is income reliability. In retirement, you're living on fixed income, Social Security, maybe a pension. Sure, theoretically, a retiree with $4,000 in monthly Social Security and pension income could handle a $2,000 mortgage payment. But that leaves almost nothing for property taxes, insurance, maintenance emergencies, or healthcare costs. And healthcare gets expensive as you age. The real question you need to ask yourself is, can I comfortably afford this payment if my only income is what I'm getting right now? And will I be able to handle a $10,000 emergency repair without scrambling? The numbers tell an interesting story. Between 2013 and 2023, 2.4 million Americans aged 65 and older became renters. That's a 30% surge. Why? According to Fannie Mae data from 2025, here's the contradiction. 56% of boomers say they never plan to sell their homes. But get this, 84% of boomers have at least some level of concern about homeownership as they age, especially around maintenance, upkeep, and unexpected costs. That anxiety is completely valid. A roof replacement, foundation repair, or plumbing overhaul can easily exceed $10,000 and devastate a retiree on a fixed budget. That's why senior housing occupancy reached 88.7% in Q3 2025, marking the 17th consecutive quarterly increase. More retirees are choosing purpose-built senior communities, independent living, assisted living, because they offer something incredibly valuable: predictable, all-inclusive pricing. No surprise, $15,000 roof repairs. No wondering if you can afford to maintain your property. Just peace of mind on a fixed income. The rent versus buy decision in retirement comes down to your specific situation, your timeline, and your comfort with risk. For the complete breakdown with all the numbers and sources, head to the full article at wealth-wire.com. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe for more grounded personal finance content that actually uses real data. There are links to all our sources in the description. Thanks for watching.